Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show. It is Thursday, August the 12th, and we're now just 2 days away for the Yorkshire and Lancashire derby, the War of the Roses. Just the North is ours, baby. The North is ours, marching on together. Listen, I'm so excited. I've got an opposition preview dropping a little bit later on today as well, lunchtime. So make sure you subscribe, get your notification bell smashed and all that, because I'm really excited for you to see it, because look, I'm a bit of a technophobe. You guys know that. So for what I've done, I'm proper proud of myself, a bit like I was with the vlog. Listen, it is what it is. I'm just proud of myself. There you go. That's enough ramble from me. Smash a like, though, because what we're going to do now is, of course, the Daily Leeds, all the latest news from Leeds, Elland Road, Thorp, all that jazz. And it is a bumper episode. We have got loads to discuss in today's episode. So let's get into it. And this is the moment when I take a stand. So guys, we're going to start first of all with that man, Noa Lang. Our guys, our friends of the show, LUFC Fan Zone, had been speaking again to Noa Lang. His agent was pretty candid. Actually came out and said some things about Leeds United's finances. He says, look, there has been no progression in the last month regarding Leeds United. From what I understand, there is a financial issue from inside Leeds, which is why they are moving slow in the market. Quite surprising. There shouldn't be financial issues. We've got the 49ers, we've got big backers. But we are being very quiet in the market. That is a fact. I thought we'd do more. I think we all did. We seem to be haggling over Lewis O'Brien. I'm not saying we're skint by any stretch of the imagination. And do I think deals will be done? Yes. I'm hopeful. Anyway. But it's quite interesting hearing him say that. Definitely. He said, look, there has been no official bid from Leeds at all this window. However, Noah has a release clause in his contract, which of course Leeds United will be aware of. He said, I cannot say how much it is, but it's over 20 million. 25 million, do you reckon? It's quite interesting because Leeds will be aware of that as well. Maybe that's why they went for loans for midfielders. I'm trying not to mention his name because you keep hammering me, so I'm not going to mention his name. But that's maybe why we went for a loan from a certain midfielder from Chelsea. I don't know. It's quite interesting hearing this, though. Like, of course, the agent doesn't know the underworkings of Leeds United and what's really going on. But it's clear that maybe we are being a little bit quiet, and maybe that's one of the reasons. He says, look, they still like Noah, and he's ready and waiting. Noa Lang wants to move. Leeds want the move. What's stopping it? It's got to be cash, surely. He says Noah is in a good place right now at Club Bruges, and he's very grateful to the club, but he's also very ambitious, so we will see how the rest of the window goes. We've got 20 days left of the window, 19 actually, in fact. LUFC Fan Zone went back to the agent and said, look, you mentioned these financial issues. Can you give us a bit more? And he just says the deal is financially not possible to complete for now. And I don't know the exact reason for it. Maybe that conversation's been had and Victor said, look, we just can't financially do it right now. I'm not sure, but it's clear Leeds United and Noa Lang would like the deal to happen. Noa Lang seems to be number one target in terms of a winger for Leeds United. But something's preventing that, and the agent believes it's a cash flow problem. We're now going to speak about Cajuste Kvaratskhelia, who we haven't spoke about for a while, the Georgian winger who plays at Rubin Kazan. His agent has been speaking. Of course, you're going to get a lot of this. 19 days left of the window. You're going to get a lot of agents flirting this stuff about because they want the players to get moves, and this is where it could get really busy. But look, we know that we are one of a host of Premier League clubs that have inquired about Kvaratskhelia. And according to his agent, he said, I've had to meet the president of Rubin after August the 12th. And it's with 85 to 90% probability that Kvaratskhelia will change teams and play in a very high level in Europe. He says there is a lot of interest from England, Italy, and or Germany. Everything will be clear by the end of August. He said there was interest from a Milan club, but it was Inter. And of course, Inter Milan just recently won Serie A. They're pretty cash strapped. They seem to be moving a lot of their players on. He spoke about Tottenham. He says there is serious interest from them. And I can't say anything more about the Leeds interest, but it's clear there is something there. But with Cajuste Kvaratskhelia, I feel that when he's speaking about leaving Rubin Kazan and these elite clubs, top clubs in Europe, he's going to a club that's playing regularly in Europe for me. And when you've got City, our champions, knocking on your door, regardless of their financial situation, in terms of who they're moving on, i.e. Lukaku, Lautaro Martinez, these sort of players will go for top brass. Kvaratskhelia is not going to cost anywhere close to that. So they can then reinvest that sort of money in players of a younger age. So I can't see, the Georgian winger Kvaratskhelia coming to Leeds United. And we're now going to speak about Jens Cajuste. Who can forget the young 21-year-old Swedish midfielder, played in the Euros for Sweden. We all believed he was on his way to Brentford. Of course, the owner at Brentford owns both clubs. It makes perfect sense for that deal to happen. However, it's been reported in the Scandinavian media that Leeds actually had previously bid £11 million for Jens Cajuste, but that was rejected. Apparently, they want around about 14 million. So we'll have to see if Leeds United go back and increase their bid. But it was quite surprising to hear an outlet. Okay, it's the media. We don't know if it's 100% Bobon. We know that we've had a bid rejected for O'Brien, for example. But, he's highly rated. Excellent ball carrying ability. He's been strongly linked with the Premier League, of course, Newcastle, Wolves, and we believed he was on his way to Brentford. But, Leeds clearly hold an interest, have inquired. Whether or not it's factual that this bid went in, it seems a bit strange that we would bid 11 million for a player. They want 14, 3 million more. Make it happen. But then at the same time, we were told we'd bid 2 to 3 million for Lewis O'Brien. Something's not making sense because you're not putting in a bid of 11 million for Cajuste. It's been rejected and then not paying for O'Brien. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. It's hard to put your finger on what's actually going on at the moment with the funds at Leeds United. We're now moving on slightly to Brennan Johnson, the young winger from Nottingham Forest. We all believed he was staying at Nottingham Forest. However, it looks like he has turned down a recent contract extension. He's thought to be valued at around about 10 million, but again, he's supposed to be a great talent, someone that Leeds United and Burnley are both interested in. I believed he was due to be signing a new deal at Forest with the hope that he would be used in the first team regularly this season. But it looks like contract negotiations are brought down, and we know that Leeds United are always in the hunt for them young, exciting prospects that are languishing in Scottish football or in the lower leagues, i.e. the Championship. We're that club now that goes down because we have a great scouting system. And one player that we have confirmed a deal with and agreed terms with is Leo Hajeldi from Celtic, the next Virgil van Dijk, may I add. He's already agreed personal terms. He's going to undergo a medical. And it looks like he'll be linking up with the under-23s as a fee has been agreed between Leeds United and Celtic. So the next Virgil van Dijk will soon be lining up alongside Virgil van Strauch, and we're just going to have them. Yeah, we're just going to have them bossing it. We've got Creswell. Basically, we need a new centre-back. Now that Ollie Casey's moved on to partner Creswell in the heart of that defence in the under-23s. Hajeldi's got great pedigree, great prospect. So it looks like that deal's done. We're, of course, after Josh Doig as well, a number of players from across the border, over the border in Scotland. And one that I want to speak about now is Ryan Kent. Okay. Every time I speak about this man or I put him out on thumbnails, I put him in, he gets so much shit. So many fans say he's not good enough, plays in a rubbish team. I hate having to reiterate the fact that just because if you believe the team to be poor, which is fine, Rangers are poor. They play some great football under Steven Gerrard, may I add. But just because there's an individual in a league or a team that you don't think is great doesn't automatically mean that player is poor. And I spoke about Ryan Kent for a long time. There's a reason Marcelo Bielsa rates this guy and has done since the whole time he's been at Leeds United. Marcelo Bielsa rates this guy. And we spoke about changes in the market, things happening. We've previously spoke about Noa Lang and maybe Club Brugge are looking to bring in Collado from Barca. Does that mean he can then go at a lower price? We spoke about James and Rashford having surgery. Does he now stay at Manchester United because they've got a number of wingers, attackers out that aren't available? Probably. And then Ryan Kent. We spoke about most recently about them going in the Champions League. Of course, if they went through to the Champions League, then they would keep Ryan Kent. They could afford to keep Ryan Kent. But as we know, they got knocked out. They got knocked out by Malmo. So that means that Ryan Kent should be available. There was an article done in The Athletic to say Rangers have forecast that they will lose 14.4 million this season, and given Europa League group stage football is used as the base expectation in which to budget on, missing out on the competition would have alleviated some of that deficit. Basically means that the numbers do not add up unless Rangers cash in on one or possibly two of their high value players. There is interest in several players. Glenn Kamara, we know, Leeds United apparently were interested, but he's expected to sign a new deal. Okay. So eyes naturally drift towards your Morales and your Ryan Kent. Okay. They've both attracted serious bids in the recent past. You know, Leeds United have a firm interest in Ryan Kent and have done for 2 years. And now the fact that they've been knocked out of the Champions League, you've got to think Leeds United must be sniffing around that. You know, speaking back in May, you know, Ryan Kent said, you know, playing in the Champions League was a big reason for him to stay at Rangers. Yeah. But they're no longer in, you know, they're not in the Champions League, you know. Of course, he went on to say, as long as I'm at Rangers, I'll always give 100%. He loves the place and what the club's done for him. And he'll be focused on Rangers. But he says the Champions League will be massive. It's the biggest stage in club football, being able to test yourself against the best players in the world and the best teams in the world. But that's not happened now. So what's the next move? It's to the Premier League. The best teams, the best players, the best league in the world. So I think there's a chance that Ryan Kent is available and will be something that Leeds United will look at, if indeed we have got the funds. Because we're being told by agents and we're seeing with the way that we're moving in the market that maybe the funds aren't there. I don't know. It's just what I'm surmising. We had an interview yesterday as well from birthday boy Pascal Struijk. It was his birthday yesterday. Virgil van Struijk. He did an interview in the YEP. He said, new season, new start. I'm looking forward to the first game and really looking forward to playing the best teams because that is what makes you better as a player and as a team. He spoke about Man United and said the 6-2, that was last year. This year it's 0-0, and we will go from there. I don't think Pascal will start, if I'm being honest. I think it'll be Robin Koch and Liam Cooper, but he will be ready. But that's just my opinion. I might be wrong. He was asked about the tightening up at the back, you know, and how Bielsa had, you know, switched it. And he hopes that, you know, we continue in that vein. He said, we'll try and do the same. Well, even better, but just try and play the good football that we did last year. In the first half of the season, we conceded way too many goals, so we need to try and keep that down and then try also get the results coming our way. He said, if you look at the results from last season, especially the end, we were conceding way less than in the first half of the season. So if we can continue in that form, that's great. He then went on to just speak about last season as a whole. He was asked the question about pre-season, and obviously we had the rival of two international defenders in Diego Llorente and Robin Koch. And his thought was he would only play in a couple of games. He said, look, last year was a big surprise for me. I was never expecting to play the first game, and then I did. And then obviously I got more minutes because some people got injured, and then slowly worked my way into the team. He says, my goal for this year is to do exactly the same. Try and get as many minutes as possible, play as many games, and just try and keep my spot in the team. I think I'm improving every single game. My whole progression over last year was pretty good. My confidence started growing with the more games that I played. I got used to certain strikers and skills that the players have, so it's only good for me. And I think I still have a lot of space to improve, which it does. We know that, yeah. The ceiling for Pascal Struijk is, you know, there's a reason why Holland and Belgium both want him. You know, it's a madness. I'm just going to move it on slightly now. If you weren't aware that Leeds United have now been drawn at home to Crewe in the second round of the Carabao Cup. The ties will be played on week commencing Monday, the 23rd of August. So we have a home tie against Crewe. Of course, Luke Murphy's Crewe Alexander as well. Who can forget Luke Murphy? Had an update as well on Junior Firpo, LUFC fan zone, back into that contacts book. I need to get that contact list, yeah. They need to be giving me these numbers that they have. But they spoke to someone close to Junior Firpo who said he's in training. He'll be ready for Saturday. There is no problem about his fitness, but only about his recent playing time because of him missing Ajax versus Villarreal. It is not certain he will play. I'm not sure if, because he's missed the last two, maybe Bielsa will go with him because it's such a big game and such a tough test. But I'd like him to start, and he's clearly fit too. So that's promising to hear. We also heard from Radrazani as well. I don't know if any of you have seen this, but some people actually tagged me in on Facebook. There is people who have bought tickets for Leeds United games now selling them at like 300 quid. Like they've gone on to the black market, as it were. Third-party websites are illegally selling tickets. We know the issues around tickets, getting to away games, getting to home games, members having 30,000 members and only 10,000 tickets available for these members. And it turns out some people are now selling these on the black market. And Radrazani and the club have come out. You know, the club said, we will work to identify and expose those selling their tickets via third-party platforms, and those tickets will be cancelled and significant bans will be handed out. And so they should. So they should. Ban them, stop them coming. I think it's an absolute travesty. Radrazani waded in and said it's very disappointing to see this situation. This is not fair. And I'm working with the club management to tackle and stop these illegal activities. Came out, rebuffed it, straight on it. Love to see it, because there's people that will be dying to get into Elland Road this season. I'm lucky enough to have a season ticket. I've done for a long time. But, you know, them that want to get in, and I understand it, because look, you might not agree with it, but some people want to come back now we're in the Premier League. These things happen, you know? And I, for one, just can't wait to see it packed out, regardless of if you've come now or you've always been there. It is what it is. Who cares? Who cares, really, when we come down to it? But what I don't want to see is people being skanked and robbed. You know what I mean? Paying over £100, bad enough. But when I've seen something like 300 quid, it's a madness. Madness. And just to finish, guys, LUFC women have confirmed the signing of Sandra Soares Martins ahead of Sunday's season opener. Remember, you can watch them as well, and I think it's free to go to see them. I think it is, yeah. But yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you so much, as always, for watching the Daily Leeds bumper episode. Loads in there. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember, my opposition preview will be dropping around lunchtime as well, with a very special guest and a different slant on how I've done them previously. So I hope you enjoy that. And remember, we've got Before the Whistle Blows at 8 o'clock as well. Myself, Oscar, Locks and Corey will be looking ahead to this weekend's games. I, for one, can't wait. Thank you, as always, for watching, and I'll see you in a bit. Peace out. Leeds.